here. Happy New Year, and you know what time it is. Time to see some new stuff. We are over here at the courtyard, and some changes have occurred since last time. Now you can see these pieces here all along this side and the other side have changed. Before, we had these arches over here creating a 2 by 3 kind of podium section that stuck out similar to this. But I decided that first of all, that is not very accurate to the whole design of the roof from this side. It should be flat and it shouldn't stick out like that, although it did look kind of pretty and interesting. I've decided to shorten it, so I've removed the arches and placed these pillars, and we're going to place these 1 by 2s just to cover it. This will align better with the roof, which now I can show you a little bit since I have a few pieces. Most of the pieces that I'm waiting for, which means a lot of these 2 by 3 slopes are still in the mail. I've ordered them from Russia, and deliveries from there are, well, very slow as it turns out. I think it will be around a month and a half of waiting. Anyway, I'm hoping they do arrive within the next 10 days so we can actually build this whole section here. But I wanted just to show you a little idea that will give you a sample of what it will look like. Now, first of all, I want to mention that I was planning to have dark bluish gray tiles, as plates. As you can see, this is removable. This section here is not. And underneath, as you can see, I have these tan plates underneath. Now, initially they were dark bluish gray, and the problem with that is that the dark bluish gray would stick out, which means that this here and also over here to stick out, and it shouldn't. So it was going to be painfully obvious, and I don't want that. It would annoy me beyond belief, so I decided tan plates in the end. Now, it is very important for this kind of angle to be achieved, and I was really thinking about it a lot. Initially, my hope was to use, let me show you, these 3 by 3 kind of slopes. I don't know what they're called exactly. Basically this piece here, and that way we get this kind of effect that it is noticeable in the roof of the courtyard, this angle here, and it's very important for that to be achieved. However, I wanted this to be a little bit taller. This way we've used 3 of these pieces and filled with these 2 by 3s. Now, the reason I couldn't do that is because the math, although it did pan out a lot, it kind of always raised a few questions. And basically, you don't really have the space between here and here. We need another 2 studs of distance. And I was thinking various ways. Actually, the last 2 days I've been mostly thinking and testing some stuff. But this is what we turn around. And I'll tell you the difficulties. Now, one thing was we push the whole building a little bit to the front, and that would mean we'll create the space over here, but that created other problems. For example, it would mean that we'll have 2 blank studs of a room that don't have these sort of plates underneath, and I don't really want that. Obviously here it would be hidden, it wouldn't be that much of a problem. Also, we'll need to build extra from the back so it fills kind of this gap. The main reason is that the floor, we'll have 2 studs of space between the floor here and the floor over here, you know, as this is movable. And we could do all that, but I just seemed like a nightmare to do, and also that means this will stick out unless we rebuild the whole thing again, which means we have to align everything. It will be terrible. And we've already achieved this very nicely kind of fitting here, as this is pulled this way, and it, as you can see there, this will all be ruined, and I don't really want to do that. And in the end, I decided we kind of eliminate a little minus, a little negativity from the last design, and that's where the arches that's why the arches were removed, basically. So now we have this flatter surface here, flatter side, which kind of lets us to keep this pattern here. Now it's very important for this kind of border to be the same, which is easy for the inwards kind of inside highways here, but on the edges here it's a bit difficult, because first we want this whole thing to be the same. We don't want this to be one stud wide and here to be 3 or 4 studs, because we could have done that too. We could have, for example, had this over here, for example, like this, and this simply would have been 3 rows over here for the space, and over here would have been 4 rows, which is fine. And I was thinking about that too, but then we're kind of losing this kind of idea, because the idea is from this corner to this corner to have this little kind of angle, and that would be ruined, because here we would have this, which is not terrible. I mean, it looks fine, but it would bother me and I don't really want to do that. So we shortened it. Now instead of having 4 studs here, we have 1. And the reason we have this extra one here, and I'm going to use this kind of pattern here to slope downwards, because if it ends here and it goes straight down, we will see the dark bluish gray from here, and I don't want that. In this way we will have this hidden as it should be, and we'll have only tan and other brick kind of pieces over here. And this is fine, because there is this kind of shape over there as far as the pictures are concerned, so I think it will work out. Is it absolutely perfect? No, but it is the best variation I managed to come up with, and I think it will be just fine. Now one other idea was to kind of move this angle, because obviously if the space here is not enough, if we move this forwards and kind of move this kind of angle here over this side, we will create the extra space. But then it ruins the whole math, and I don't really want that, because then this, we should always have an arch that is as big and identical to these ones between here and over there. And if we move this, then this will be ruined. We either have to decide that this will be just something else, or we'll have to redo everything again, and it will not work, because this pattern, in order for it to work, the original design of the castle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these over here. And if we ruined it, then we'll have the wrong number of arches, then we'll have the wrong number of gargoyles, and you know what I'm saying. Also, the hallways over here will be different. We'll have this hallway, basically this one and this one here connecting the building is 5 studs wide, and these ones to the side are 6. And that's the reason we end here 2 and 2 on this side. So basically any little change kind of requires even more changes, and it's just not worth it. Plus this is the best kind of math that I managed to come up with, so I don't think even if we make these changes, everything else will be ruined, so I don't want to do that. So in the end, this is the way it's going to be. Only 3 rows, we'll have this angle, everything's fine, hidden the dark bluish gray from the slopes. This will be visible like this, and it will be detachable like so. Now I'm not really decided whether this thing should end here and I should just pick up this, or maybe I should build it up to here and then just pick up like this. We'll see. I don't want to be making this like motion like 20 times. So hopefully it will be like 5 or 6 kind of different elements that I just need to pick up. But after everything's built, we only need to pick up whatever is needed to see. For example, I want to see something here, just pick it up. And we don't need to move everything, take it out unless I have to move the building or do something dramatic. Okay, and one other thing that I wanted to share. See this? This is first preparation for the grand staircase. I kind of decided how exactly to make it, and there was a lot of math again here. First of all, I tried to do this technique by kind of making a circle, kind of faking the pieces with kind of cylinders. Let me try and show you. Yeah, by using these kind of pieces and bricks, or these kind of pieces. And it turns out that it's kind of, I don't know, I don't like it, because most people that do that basically make the exterior and they just slot it in, but I want everything to be like pie of cheese kind of. So we kind of built everything. It's one solid construction from here to here, and we have another layer, another layer, another layer on top of that, and that way just doesn't work for me. So I decided, after finding some interesting schematics on the web of how to make a circle, a faked circle, basically this kind of way, it will look like a circle. It will not be perfect, but it is a perfect pattern of a circle. And what do I mean by that? For example, this way that I decided to do it, we have 26 studs from here to here, excluding this border and excluding the center, which means that we have 28 from here to here and another 28 from here to over here. That's a 56 stud diameter circle. And in order to achieve this illusion that it is a circle, it needs to be done in a precise pattern. For example, we find the center here, then we go all the way down here, and we are over here. So this side is 10 studs, and the center too is here. So we have 4 to the side and another 4 to the side. And if you see, from this side to over here, which is 90 degrees, we have the center of 2, then we have a 4, another 4, a 3, a 2, a 1, a 2, and 2 1s. And the rest mirrors up to here. We have another one, which is kind of the center. So everything here is, imagine it, one part. This yellow one separates it. And then we have the same pattern following up to here. So if you see this 4, 3, 2, 1, it is the same here. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, etc. And if you look at it from afar, it is exactly the same. Now, I didn't do all that math by myself. As I said, I found some schematics made by somebody, I don't know, that had a lot more math knowledge than me and a lot more patience and experience. But basically, they showed a schematics of how to make a circle in such a way, depending on how big you want it. And there is basically from the smallest circle to up to like 60, 70 studs of diameter. And I decided to use this 50, what did we say? 56? Yeah, 56 diameter. And why is that? Because again, judging by the photos and stuff, we want the middle to be kind of below this building, the level of this building when you look from above, right? We want the lower section of the Great Hall to be around the middle of the courtyard. Now, it is not exactly the middle. The middle is here. And we have it slightly below. But imagine the middle is this kind of area here, because if the middle is here, then we can increase it to up to here. So it is still within that kind of a quadrant. Also, between the middle of the circle over here in the gray hole, there needs to be enough space up to here. So this kind of this section here, the middle, needs to be below this building, and enough needs to be on top. So the center has to be around here. It can be further upwards. And also the amount of the circle that is left above this building should be around, well, a third, roughly. Maybe a little bit more than a third. And I think I've done all that fine. And I think once placed, it will look where it should be. And yeah, now obviously this is not finished because we need two more plates, which I've not placed because space currently. I need to remove it. And what I want to show you is this. Now this is just a little pattern that basically is the same, as you can see. Let me just place it over here. Yeah, it is basically the same as this. Now what we're looking to do is we will cover not absolutely everything, but the majority here, so it serves as a support. On top of these plates, we'll cover it with tiles. Then we'll create a base which will kind of fit here, and we'll use this as the outline to connect all the bases. And we'll have a solid floor. And this way, although it is not a perfect circle, we'll have all the freedom in the world to do whatever we want. We want to customize it with nougat bricks or mason bricks, or we want to place windows. It's a lot easier than making a circle using cylinders, which I mentioned earlier. And it will be a lot more piece intensive and chaotic, but I think I'm up to the challenge, and I think I will actually use this to my advantage. As you can see, if we place this over here, if I can, yeah, there we go. It goes kind of perfectly. And following this pattern wasn't very easy to make, but it was actually kind of fun when you kind of get the hang of it. Anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit of what is going on. And I know not much has been built since last time, but it's really, in order for it to look good, I need to calculate stuff and decide on the best way to do things, because otherwise it's going back. And going back when you have so much built is such a nightmare at times. Although I try to make it so that if I do have to go back, I can do so kind of easily, but sometimes it's just a nightmare. For example, over here, if you remember, we had one of these, you know, just like a plate. And this side here, the outer side, was underneath these windows. And actually we had another row of windows over here as well. And it turns out that the way I do it here, it was going to cover the windows, and I didn't want to do that. So I had to remove the windows, and most importantly this plate, because otherwise it was going to show here. And we need this to be tan, not dark bluish gray. So doing that, obviously this plate, half of it was all underneath all this, which is really heavy, really stacked, and really difficult to remove. So I had to be really careful and patient to remove the lower layer of windows and remove this, replace it without everything breaking apart. It's not going to break apart, obviously, it's because there's so many connections, but kind of getting underneath it and lifting it a little bit, it was difficult. And then obviously everything is moved a little bit, so you have to kind of put pressure here and there patiently, and it does take some time. And if you are not very patient, or you're in a hurry, or you just want to get it out, it could result in something very, very catastrophic. So there is that. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that, and the next time hopefully I will have all these pieces and you will see, if not the whole courtyard roof, then the majority. and we will talk about how it looks like from the side, what else can be done, and you'll be able to really appreciate all this nonsense that I've been talking regarding this section here in the roof. And I hope that you like what the end result will be. I hope I like it. Maybe that's more important, because I won't be able to sleep otherwise if I'm displeased with it. And also, yeah, those things that I mentioned last time, we'll be making more of these, kind of covering this side, waiting for those pieces as well. Basically only these arches is what I'm missing, so I need to begin building, and we will be making this whole side here. And hopefully we'll even make the first section of the roof hat, let's call it the roof hat, which will be this kind of pyramid shape, removable, kind of like this one over there. And yeah, I think that's it. It's a project that will, oh, what is that? Oh no, you don't care about that, right? Yeah, you don't care about that. It's a project that is just, it will take a long time to do, but very often when I just pass it by and I see how far it has gone within just 2 or 3 or 4 months, it's really satisfying. So I'll keep going, and I hope you keep going with me. Thank you again for watching and for your patience and attention. If you have any thoughts, feel free to share with me. And yeah, like and subscribe really means a lot, and I will see you next time. Hopefully it will be very, very soon. Bye for now.